All right, welcome back everyone to yet another Revopoint video. So I have the Trackit here with us today. And as you may have noticed, if you tuned into the live stream when we released Trackit, we were scanning medium to large objects, and Trackit did fantastic with that. It was a lot of fun. But you may be wondering, is it capable of scanning smaller items? Yes, it is capable of that. So that's what I'm going to show you today, starting with this fish here, really rich in detail. So we're going to go about scanning this in TrackScan, and then we'll try something else later, but stay tuned for that. First of all, something small like this fish, let's get into it and scan it. So we already have TrackScan selected here using cross lines. Let's switch it to black object. It's a little darker. Let's turn the target point distance all the way down to 0.15 millimeters. So that obviously is going to get you the best detail with any scan, especially when scanning something small, turning it all the way down like that. So we'll do that, and let's pretty much just start. So again, just some little tricks of the trade. Because the tracker is tracking me, whatever the item is, it's best to have it pointed like that, because I can easily capture the markers on the scanner itself a little bit easier compared to if I had it turned this way. We also did that with larger items too in the live stream. So pretty good with that. Let's give it a try. And you're going to notice it takes a little bit longer for it to turn fully green. That's normal, just because you are having the point target distance set so low. So naturally it's going to take a little bit longer to turn green, just because it's capturing that many more point clouds. They're that much closer than if you were scanning a large item and having the distance greater. So we're just going to take our time with this. Get it really nice and let it become a nice rich dark green before we move on. And just some little tips too. Obviously I have the monitor here, the computer, but we also have a TV on the side here, hooked up HDMI to the computer. If you have something convenient, a TV convenient to you like that, I mean, that definitely is nice. Just to see the item nice and large, especially as I like rotate around to the other side of the fish. Just something else to check at where you're at with distance. Around 7,000 frames, I'll start switching over to the other side. And again, you don't necessarily have to pause it. You can. I'm just going to step in front. You'll see that it loses tracking because I'm blocking the tracker, but then it just picks up right away once I'm out of its view. So you probably remember, if you have any other laser scanners that aren't optical tracking scanners, how difficult that was normally when you'd be rotating around an item. Whatever model you're trying to capture, you'd have to go real slow and might lose tracking. But obviously with the optical tracking scanner, it's super easy. Just move all the way around it, 360 degrees. And I have it elevated a little higher just simply because the scanner in my hand, it's pretty robust, as we like to say. So it's good to have something that's smaller like this, raised up a little bit. Otherwise, obviously, if it was on the table level, I couldn't drop down and get underneath the belly of the fish as much. So it just allows you to capture more point clouds having it raised up like that. Looking pretty good. Guess I'm just going to switch over to the other side real quick and try to get underneath its belly a little more. And then we can go ahead and edit this. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so let's complete it. And remember, we were at, when we scanned a target point distance of 0.15 millimeters. Let's see what it suggests. Normally, it's good to go with when fusing it. You can go with what it's recommended, as long as it's not recommending something too high, but 0.29 is definitely fine. But since we're really going for detail, let's even turn it down a little bit. Let's just do a nice 0.20. Apply that. So there we have it. Let's clean it up a little bit now. Have some isolation. Maybe first we'll just slice off the little bit that it's showing from the spray bottle we have underneath. Of course, reverse that. So already with the regular point clouds, you can see that the details are quite well. Of course, I have some blank spots there. Should have spent more time in some areas, but it's overall pretty nice. See if there's any overlap going on with the overlap detection. A little bit, apply that. Then let's mesh it. And again, for best quality, turn that all the way up to 8. Apply. And there's our final result. So besides a few parts that I missed, didn't capture the point clouds, I mean, look at that detail compared to the actual object itself. Really captured it well. Little gears. The texture on the fin, it's a little more coarse. You can really see that well. So, not a problem at all. Obviously, in the live stream, we scanned something like that was 7 feet tall, a Moses statue, fine with that. We can go a lot larger with vehicles, airplanes and such, but all the way down to something as small as this, but even smaller. In other videos, we'll have to show you something as small as even maybe a screw. We've done that before, but no problem with scanning small items. So on to the next challenge, something that I want to share with everybody. If you don't feel like doing the track scan, you can actually just do a standalone marker scan. So pretty much it's just acting at that point like a typical laser scanner. You will not need the tracker anymore. But for this, of course, you're going to need your markers. That's why I have that on the table. So I'll turn this to the side, just showing that I'm not using that anymore. And I already have my marker set up. We're going to scan this pole item. So let's move it over to marker scan. And you just treat it like how you normally would with a laser scanner. We're going to merge this. I'm going to get a nice full scan of the upper portion. Then we're going to flip it over and merge the two with feature merging. So here we go. It's set cross lines, marker tracking. It is general. Let's turn the target point distance all the way down. I already have my marker blocks on there. Let's turn the turntable on. And there you have it. So just a nice option. Obviously the main selling point of Trackit is that it is an optical tracking scanner so that you don't have to use markers. But in the rare scenario that you want to scan something, just typical like the old-fashioned way of just using a typical laser scanner, you have that option with it, with marker scan. Obviously you'll see the details that you get with it are really nice because it is 30 cross lines. Shoot for like 7,000 frames and then we'll fuse this, do some isolation, and then we'll flip it over and scan the bottom part. And again here I don't have to worry about getting too low and capturing underneath because we're going to be flipping it over and merging. So when I have it flipped upright, it'll be easy to capture those point clouds. All right, let's pause it there. Very good. Complete it. Fuse. And just remember that we're going to be fusing it the same. For simplicity, I'll do it at 0.16 because I know I scanned it at 0.15. Target distance, point target distance. So in the next scan, we'll also want to fuse that at the same because we're merging these two. They have to be equal. Cool, there we have it. Okay, so before we run this through isolation, let's just use some of the selector tools on the side here to clean it up and make it easier for it to gather the isolation. This one I really like because it just splices off that little bit that I caught at the turntable, and obviously reverse it, and then just delete that. Now it'll be really easy for the software to know, like those markers are considered the noise that we don't want. Just automatically take care of that. Cool. There we have that. Maybe do a little overlap. Just a little bit. Apply. And we'll leave that be. And let's go on to now flipping it over and scanning the bottom portion. So just let that be. Let's go back to mark scan and we'll start a new one. And just do the whole thing again. And then we'll merge those two results. So again, make sure target point distance is the same. 0.15 millimeters. Marker tracking in general. See, sometimes you can twist this, play around with the angle. How the cross lines are shooting out might allow you to capture some point clouds in a different way that are normally difficult to capture when you have it vertical. Looking pretty good. Pause the scan. All right, complete this one. And just remember, with fusing the previous, we did it at 0.16. So make sure you do that one at the same. Apply. All right, Getting over to isolation, but let's splice off that bottom base a little bit first. So get it level. With a little bit of the turntable that I captured. So run this right across the bottom, invert it, delete, deselect it, and now let's do some isolation. Should take care of all that extra noise. Perfect. Overlap. Let's run that through again. Good. Now, before we mesh this, we have these two pieces, the bottom and the top, that we've fused. Now let's click merge. And make sure you select the proper ones, because there's a couple in here that I previously did right here. These two. Unselect this one. So those are the two that I just scanned just now. We have it set at feature, not manual alignment, feature, and just generate the model. It's as easy as that. And there we have it. So looking pretty good, but we haven't meshed it yet. So now let's mesh this. So make sure now you select the merge number 2 that we just did, and we'll mesh that. So let's turn it all the way up for the quality. Finished product. Look at that, everyone. Really good. Flipping it upside down. So it catches that lettering on the top of the pipe. A little bit of the seams where they cast it, and you can even see some of the serial number right there, which is incredibly small on the item. So there you have it, everybody. Trackit can handle medium and large items, as we saw in the live stream. But today we showed you that it can handle small items as well. The fish, you can go much smaller than that. That was in track scan that we did that. And we just showed you the marker scan where you don't have to rely on the tracker. It can handle it all. Small, medium, large. Take care, you guys. See you in the next video.